Has your dog suddenly become anxious? Does he gnaw on furniture, bark nonstop, lick himself compulsively, or seem on constant alert? Often, the cause is not only in the environment, but in the diet. Diet directly influences your pet's brain. Deficiencies of amino acids, good fats, and minerals can increase anxiety, while excess carbohydrates, additives, and inflammatory grains make behavior even worse. Anxiety in dogs is one of the fastest growing problems among owners, and when it appears suddenly, it generates fright and confusion. Many believe that the cause lies only in trauma, loneliness, or lack of physical activity, but there is a silent and often ignored factor: food. What the dog consumes daily can profoundly alter the chemical balance of the brain, hormonal regulation, and even the way it reacts to sounds, people, and other animals. Understanding this connection is like opening a curtain that reveals a hidden stage, and it is on this stage that one of the keys to transforming anxious behavior into calm and confidence lies. Imagine a dog that, for years, has always been balanced, calm, and predictable. Suddenly, he starts gnawing on furniture, barking for no apparent reason, licking himself compulsively, or being in a state of alert even indoors. The tutor looks for immediate explanations: change of routine, arrival of visitors, absence of the owner. But behind the scenes, there's something more subtle going on. This dog's brain chemistry may be directly influenced by the food that enters his system. The canine brain, like the human brain, works from neurotransmitters, substances that transmit signals between neurons. Serotonin, known as the calmness hormone, eccrine, and dopamine, linked to pleasure and motivation, are just two crucial examples. And here's the thing: these neurotransmitters don't come out of nowhere. They depend on specific nutrients present in food. The deficiency or excess of certain components can totally deregulate this system. One of the clearest examples is tryptophan, an essential amino acid found in meat and eggs. It is the precursor of serotonin. When the diet is low in quality protein, the dog produces less serotonin, becoming more vulnerable to anxiety and impulsivity. It is as if, suddenly, the mind loses its brakes. Now, imagine an animal fed only low-quality, ultra-processed food, full of refined carbohydrates and artificial colors. Instead of being given the building blocks needed to stay calm, he is ingesting stimulants that alter metabolism and inflame the body. And glucose enters this scenario as a silent villain. Feeds full of corn, wheat, and farinaceous byproducts generate blood glucose peaks followed by sudden drops. This constant rise and fall causes energetic instability, reflected in restless and unpredictable behavior. In simple terms, it is like a child who consumes sweets all day. Moments of euphoria followed by irritation and nervousness. Another point that is little commented on is the deficiency of essential fatty acids, especially omega-3. Present in cold water fish and high-quality oils, it is responsible for reducing inflammation and regulating neural connections. Without omega-3, the brain works at an irregular pace, and studies have shown that dogs with diets low in this nutrient have more symptoms of anxiety, hyperactivity, and difficulty concentrating in training. Meanwhile, excess chemical additives and preservatives act as fuel for behavioral disorders. Artificial colors and flavorings, inserted to make the food more attractive, can act as stimulants in the nervous system, generating irritation and agitation. Many owners report that by migrating to balanced, raw, natural food, the dog not only improves physically, but also becomes calmer, as if the brain breathes relieved by the absence of these daily toxins. A classic case can illustrate: imagine a Labrador named Max. He has always been docile, but he started destroying doors when the owner left for work. After countless attempts with toys, extra rides, and even medication, nothing worked. It was only when the diet was reevaluated that it was discovered that Max was consuming a ration full of grains and poor protein sources. By starting a natural diet rich in lean meats, meaty bones, and fish oil, in just 3 months, the anxious behavior decreased dramatically. Max didn't change because someone trained him better. He changed because his brain finally received the right fuel. These examples reveal an uncomfortable truth. Often dog anxiety isn't just behavioral, it is metabolic, it is nutritional, it is the reflection of a body that does not find in food the necessary elements to keep the mind balanced. And this is where the transition from knowledge to action begins. If we understand that the plate directly influences behavior, we now need to look inside the bowl with different eyes. What's there is just food, or is it an invisible trigger for anxiety? If the first step was to understand how the absence or excess of certain nutrients can generate anxiety, now we need to visualize in a practical way which foods work as triggers of tranquility and which act as hidden accelerators of nervousness. Tryptophan is the silent protagonist of this story. This essential amino acid, present in meats such as turkey, chicken, lamb, and raw eggs, is converted by the body into serotonin, the neurotransmitter that regulates mood and calm. A dog that receives natural sources of tryptophan daily has more emotional stability, responds better to training, and shows fewer signs of separation anxiety. The lack of this nutrient, on the contrary, leaves the brain vulnerable to fluctuations and explosions in behavior. Another vital nutrient is magnesium, found in dark leafy vegetables like spinach and kale, as well as crushed pumpkin and sunflower seeds in small amounts. This mineral works as a natural regulator of the nervous system, helping to reduce the excitability of neurons. Dogs with magnesium deficiency experience tremors, agitation, and difficulty relaxing even after long walks. But it's not enough to add the right nutrients. It is necessary to reduce the excesses that sabotage the balance. One of the most common villains is gluten present in commercial wheat-based feeds. Studies show that it can cause intestinal inflammation, which, in turn, directly affects the communication between the gut and the brain, the so-called gut-brain axis. This axis is a two-way street. When the intestine is inflamed, the production of neurotransmitters drops and anxiety rises. The sugar hidden in low-cost carbohydrates, such as corn and refined rice, also acts as an enemy. It generates power spikes followed by abrupt drops, creating a roller coaster of mood. Many owners describe dogs that seem hyperactive for no reason right after their meal. This is no coincidence. It is pure chemistry, the result of glycemic peaks caused by the diet. Another critical point is the lack of essential fatty acids, such as omega-3. It not only protects the joints and skin, but is critical for the brain. DHA, one of the main components of omega-3, is a structural part of neuron membranes. Without it, neural communication becomes impaired, which contributes to anxiety, chronic stress, and even aggressive behavior. Sources such as fish oil, sardines, and salmon are valuable allies in the diet. One aspect that deserves special attention is the gut microbiota. The dog's intestine is not just a digestive tube. It is a complex ecosystem. Balanced beneficial bacteria help produce calming substances, such as GABA, while imbalances trigger inflammation and nervousness. Here, ingredients such as pumpkin, carrots, and even small doses of kefir or lactose-free natural yogurt can contribute to restoring this balance, strengthening the intestine and, consequently, the mind. To visualize better, imagine two medium-sized dogs. The first receives a bowl of dry food with processed grains and animal byproducts. He eats fast, spends part of the day restless, growls for trivial reasons, and is a restless sleeper. The second gets a balanced raw meal: fresh meat, raw meaty bones, liver in small portions, crushed vegetables, and fish oil. This dog, over time, shows less reactivity, plays calmly, and rests deeply. It's no coincidence. It's biochemistry in action. Another point often forgotten is water. Poor hydration, common in dogs fed only dry food, can increase anxiety. This is because dehydration affects blood circulation and impairs the delivery of nutrients to the brain. Raw natural food, as it contains a high moisture content, already promotes internal hydration, reducing physiological stress and helping with mental stability. But none of this has an effect if there is no consistency. The tutor, who alternates between days of ultra-processed food and days of natural food, generates confusion in the animal's body. The body never fully adapts to a pattern, and this translates into digestive and behavioral instability. Consistency is just as important as the nutrients themselves. The time has come to turn all theory into practice. If anxiety can be fueled by what we put in the bowl, it can also be reduced with the right and consistent choices. This is where owners discover that food is more than nutrition. It is a tool for emotional balance. The first step is to establish a quality protein base. Lean meats, such as chicken breast, turkey, and beef cuts, provide the amino acids that build neurotransmitters like serotonin and dopamine. These proteins are the building blocks of the balanced mind. For variety, add lamb or fish, which bring even more complexity to the nutrient profile. Rotation is key. Each different protein offers unique amino acids and minerals that together complete the puzzle of mental stability. The second point is to insert raw, fleshy bones in the correct proportion. Not only do they strengthen teeth and bones, but they also provide calcium and phosphorus in perfect balance. This mineral harmony reflects on the nervous system, since calcium is essential for the transmission of impulses between neurons. A dog that receives calcium properly is less likely to suffer emotional swings linked to deficiencies. The third step is to ensure the presence of internal organs. Liver, heart, and kidney are true reserves of vitamins and minerals. The liver, rich in vitamin A and B complex, favors neurological health, while the heart provides taurine, essential for heart function and stress management. Including 5 to 10% of the diet in various organs is a direct way to protect body and mind. The fourth crucial point is omega-3, found in sardines, salmon, and good quality fish oil. It is a natural anti-inflammatory that regulates brain connections and improves the stress response. Studies show that animals with adequate levels of omega-3 have less aggressiveness and more resilience in the face of routine changes. Incorporating omega-3 at least 3 times a week already makes a noticeable difference in behavior. The fifth care is in vegetables rich in fiber and antioxidants. Pumpkin, carrots, spinach, and even small portions of crushed broccoli mimic the stomach contents of herbivorous prey, providing natural prebiotics that nourish the gut microbiota. Remember, a healthy gut is synonymous with a healthy brain. These vegetables feed the beneficial bacteria that, in turn, produce calming substances like GABA, helping the dog to remain serene. Another essential detail is natural hydration. Raw foods already offer a high percentage of water, which reduces the physiological stress caused by chronic dehydration of dry feeds. This water balance improves the circulation of nutrients and keeps the brain more stable. Additionally, it's critical to understand the importance of consistency. A tutor who mixes ultra-processed food on some days and a BARF on others creates digestive and behavioral instability. The body never fully adapts to a pattern, and this oscillation reflects in agitation, mood swings, and insecurity. The true transformation happens when the natural diet becomes a stable routine, repeated daily without breaks. To visualize how this works, imagine a simple and functional weekly menu for a medium-sized dog. Monday, chicken with raw neck, liver in small portion and boiled and crushed pumpkin. Tuesday, lean beef, raw heart, and some crushed spinach. Wednesday, fresh sardines with carrots and turkey neck. Thursday, lean lamb with liver and butternut squash. Friday, chicken with heart, kidney, and a little broccoli. Saturday, fresh white fish with liver and pumpkin. Sunday, lean beef, raw heart, and crushed spinach. This menu ensures protein rotation, the presence of organs, calcium and phosphorus balance, vegetable fibers, and essential fatty acids. Before long, signs of anxiety subside, sleep improves, and behavior becomes calmer and more predictable. And the most important thing is to understand that anxiety is not a defect of the animal, but a symptom, a sign that something internal needs to be corrected. And often the correction starts with exactly what seems simplest: food. By turning the bowl into a source of balance, the owner not only nourishes the body, but gives the dog a chance to live more serenely. In the end, the question is not, why did he suddenly become anxious? But how can I help him regain his calm? The answer, to a large extent, is already in your hands, every day when preparing the meal. Your dog doesn't have to live in a state of nervousness. The bowl can be the key to restoring balance and calm.